Well, what really fascinates me about the Spinosaurus personally is the fact that we haven't seen it in 20 years. Jurassic Park 3 came out, no one, and now Dominion in 21. And there's so much mystery with this dinosaur, and there's also a cult following. So I have no doubt that we're going to see this dinosaur in Jurassic World Dominion. Although, where do you think that she has been in these past 20 years, if she is in fact still breathing?
That's the question of the century right there, because I mean, for
literally,
for a lot of us Jurassic fans, because when it comes to the Spinosaurus, she was really a one-off, right? Like, because she was there for Jurassic Park 3, and then we don't even have an inkling from any other movie about what's going on with her, except for one Easter egg in Jurassic World that I'll get to here in a second. Right, with the skeleton, which, you know, that brings some questions into my mind. But before I hop into that, though, like, when it comes to the Jurassic Park 3 Spinosaurus, that thing was so stinking powerful. And I feel like in order to be able to really have an idea like where it is now or what happened to it since 2001, we have to kind of establish what she is to begin with. And to be 100% honest, I believe that the JP3 Spinosaurus is a hybrid.
Almost IREX stage 1 a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, and the reason that I think that it's like an early stage of hybrid genetics when it comes to InGen is because the Spinosaurus, number one, does not look anything like it should according to modern day depictions. So according to the 2020 depiction of the Spinosaurus, it's meant to be more of a fisherman. It's got an elongated, yup, and it's also meant to be much more of a swimmer. The back legs are way shorter. Some believe that the Spinosaurus's feet are webbed, so like they would have been like fantastic for swimming. So basically, all that to say, like it would have been a semi-aquatic animal compared to the huge theropod you see. It's like way bigger in the movie than what it would have been according to real life. Now, of course, when they were making JP3 in 1999, 2000, like they're developing the ideas for it, they're sitting there going like, well, this is what we believe it could look like according to the little bit of information that they had back then. But then, of course, 2014 or 15, there's the new depiction of Spinosaurus being more like hunched over compared to being up top and being high, compared like a T-Rex or something. But then we also have nowadays we also have like the idea of the Spinosaurus also being much more timid. Paleontologists think that it's much more timid than what we see with the Spinosaurus in JP3. Those two things, specifically the one idea that it does not look anything close to what a Spinosaurus should, according to modern day depictions, as well as the idea that it had such erratic behavior, and one might call it super aggressive behavior compared to what a Spinosaurus should be, leads me to believe that it could be a hybrid when being talked about in modern day terms with the Jurassic franchise. And specifically, when you look at the Jurassic Park 3 Spinosaurus, that thing is incessant when it comes to chasing after the humans. Like, this thing is like seriously a killing machine. It just wants to kill, and then you see how it kills the T-Rex in the beginning of the movie.
It was all Cooper's fault to begin with, but
dang it, Cooper. Well, he's a professional, so it's okay. But when it comes to the Spinosaurus, it was so aggressive. And what other dinosaur do we see in the Jurassic franchise that, or actually two dinosaurs that we see in the Jurassic franchise that are hyper aggressive? The Indominus Rex and the Indoraptor, right? And so I do believe that according to what we see with the modern depiction of the new Spinosaurus, and with where the story has been going with hybrids and stuff like that being existing within the Jurassic franchise, I do believe that the Jurassic people at Universal will make the Spinosaurus a hybrid in future lore. Now, with that being said, what in the heck has she been doing on Isla Sorna since 2001? So like, we've established the fact that she is probably a hybrid. So like, according to the modern status of the Jurassic franchise, I do believe that she was an early experiment of Dr. Wu with hybridization. So that gives her a reason for existence. But then she was out free within just a reign over all of Isla Sorna during the events of 2001. But then, of course, Masrani Corp had taken over InGen in the late 90s, right? 1998, is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. So late 90s, Spinosaurus was born 98, I believe, and then Masrani after Hammond's death. So 98 sounds about right. And then fast forward 3 years, Jurassic Park 3.
And Jurassic Park 3, and then according to the evolution of Claire, it's 2005, right, where they start taking some of the animals from Sorna in order to be able to repopulate Isla Nublar.
Yeah, that was the rough start date, according to canon, was about 2004, 2005. But I remember it being like a 10-year anniversary. Someone was saying in Jurassic World, which took place in 15. So around 2005 is when Jurassic World was built. So about a 4-year period of where was she, you know?
Even longer, because technically, according to canon, according to the Jurassic Park fandom wiki online, it actually says that after the events of 2001, it is unknown what happened to this individual animal. Like literally, it says it is unknown what happened to this individual on the wiki fandom, and so it's just crazy to think that there's a possibility this animal kind of disappeared and fell off the face of the earth. But then there's also the idea. So there's one major theory that the Spinosaurus died, and then they used its skeletal remains in order to actually make the skeleton that Rexy burst through before the Main Street battle in Jurassic World. And the reason people think that is because that Spinosaurus depiction, the Spinosaurus fossils are actually look exactly like the 2001 JP3 Spinosaurus. And
so they look more like the movie.
Exactly compared to what was real life. And so if we look at that, we're thinking part of me wants to think that could be her, but the bigger part of me wants to believe that she's actually still out there, right? That she's still actually out there tromping around on Isla Sorna, just trying to stay quiet. Now, here's the other thing, though. The other thing, according to the Dinosaur Protection Group website, the Spinosaurus is one of the 13 dinosaur species that has gone extinct again since Jurassic Park has been created. And so I'm like, no, because apparently by Fallen Kingdom, by 2018, the Spinosaurus was one of 13 dinosaur species that has gone extinct again. Now, the reason that they believe that is either A, because there is because they cannot find proof of a living Spinosaurus on Sorna anymore, or B, because they actually found the dead body of the Spinosaurus on Isla Sorna, and then they were able to confirm that it has actually gone extinct. Now, when we go back to the Spinosaurus from JP3, there's a little bit of leeway for it still existing. So
absolutely.
There are three options that we have here with what happened to the Spinosaurus. Either A, it died and they used its fossil remains in order for it to be the bone structure that was set up in Jurassic World Main Street. B, it died and it went extinct on Isla Sorna, and then InGen ended up finding it at some point, and then they're like, well, we know it's dead, and so there it is. Or C, and this is what I'm hoping for, but it's a stretch, they could not find it on Sorna, so they assumed it to be dead and extinct, but really it's just been hiding out on the island, and there's a possibility that it might come back in some future installment. Now, I think that's the most unlikely scenario. I think that if anything, they probably are going to say that it's dead. In fact, actually, if I guess this is technically a fourth option, but I honestly think that it probably during the repopulation of Isla Nublar and taking some of the dinosaurs from Sorna to Nublar, they might have even actually hunted and killed the Spinosaurus by seeing how hyper aggressive it was and it being a danger to the other animals and to the people that were rounding up the animals, So there's a possibility that the Spinosaurus was even killed by InGen, thus forcing it back into extinction. But there's one little possibility that it could still be tromping around Sorna, and it was just able to avoid the InGen operatives over there, avoid other people, and just stay secret. But I don't know. That one's the most unlikely, even though I want it to be the case, because of the fact that because it was so hyper aggressive, it would have hunted everybody that would have came onto the island.
Well, that's what Jack Warner said in the behind the scenes, that this dinosaur could literally cause an extinction on the island. So it'd be very hard to hunt this dinosaur in specific. But to go back to your point earlier that you made that I thought was really cool, is that this dinosaur in specific is very mysterious in how she disappears. You know what I mean? Just from in canon. like where her whereabouts are exactly. And my theory, to add on to yours, one option maybe would be that in entering Biosyn, Dodson, and leaning towards a Dominion return with that same Spinosaurus. Her and her queen stature that she had in Jurassic Park III on full display, and that would be pretty cool. That's more of what I want to have happen, but I could also see it be a possibility as well, a strong possibility.
It is a possibility. The only reason I feel like it's a possibility now is because they were toying with the idea for Fallen Kingdom, and so
true.
Like that's the only reason I believe it's still a possibility. Otherwise, I would be fully committed to the idea that she's dead by now. But I am holding on to that shred of hope that she's still wandering around out there because of the fact that she was in the Fallen Kingdom scripts.